This video is the second installment in this series where we discuss the development of Kazuha, Xinyan, Fischl, and Mona as individual characters and companions of each other, and how all this affected the traveler and us as the player in the Summer Islands event quest. Keep in mind that this is not a theory nor a law explanation, but if it requires, I will clarify them. We continue our exploration with Xinyan. On the surface, contrary to Kazuha, Xinyan is fiery. Regular people keep their distance from her and she looks apart for that. But people don't realize how interesting she is and how passionate she is about her music. We got Barbara from Mondstadt who adopted a different style of music from Fontaine after hearing it from Alice. She went on a period where people didn't accept her music but eventually loved her singing to the point people like this spawned. We are seeing another Barbara in the making with Xinyan. Kinda ironic, isn't it? Both characters are voiced by the same person. Xinyan is basically the human equivalent of the do not judge a book by its cover. She is hard to approach because she dresses apart, but once you get to know her, she is really cool. Once I enter her domain, things didn't seem like what Xinyan we know might have going inside her life. The group also notices this and calls it bleak. It doesn't feel like Xinyan, but it looks like her on the surface. Our dumbasses didn't figure this out, instead we went along with it clueless. Spiky plants to represent her spiky hair ties and her whole fate, and the rock version of the battle music to represent her rock music enthusiasm. If we want to be too obvious, rock music and floating rocks. That's just a bad pun. This is Xinyan for someone who doesn't know her on a personal level. Her domain has a huge emphasis on doors. Yes, a whole lot of doors. Each time you enter one of these doors, it means you become closer to Xinyan on a personal level, becoming a friend. We had to find a key to open the first door. The key was not that far, but people didn't bother taking their time to get to know her enough to know that her key was just under a flower pot. Get to know her, and she's an open book. You can see how the bleak and distorted reality gets much more vibrant and organized once you keep going deeper into her domain. Early on, everything was distorted and broken islands with thorny trees and all. Once you get to her house, nothing that was broken is there. Everything is happy, friends are here, and nothing is distorted like Kazuha's domain. Her home is the closest place to her, and everything about it shows that much. Kazuha's troubles originated from his house, but Xinyan comes back to her home when she is tired after a performance or unhappy with something. This is what a home is for, a place to come back when you feel lost or any other emotion. Unlike the others, Xinyan has the most open-minded and easygoing personality. As a Pyrovision wielder though, she is bit like I'm fire and ready to fight, but in a good way, not like her bro Tartaglia who fights anything. The fire flower is not supposed to be a part of Xinyan's vine, but more of an island spirit given life in her mirage. So it's not her but also her, it's weird. The island's manifestation is the blue flower. The fire flower is a mix between her personality and the island's purpose. That's why she is the doorkeeper for Xinyan's memories. But only the blue flower could revive the dead springs. Does anyone think this flower looks like Millennia's flower from Elden Ring? No? Just me? Anyway, once I revive the flower, it unlocks another door leading to even deeper inside Xinyan's memories. As I said earlier, each door gets you closer to Xinyan. We learn more about her. Similar to Kazuha's memory lane, the doors leading up to the top were all memories of Xinyan when she was growing up. I kept listening to what each memory said. From the point where her mother lying to her about how spring water makes people sing better, to her father worrying about her safety while running off to find that water, her own parents couldn't understand her. Then I moved to the top where she had already figured out how to deal with regular people, meeting with the current Xinyan who's always with us. Her neighbors and other family wanted her to learn something noble, and some people were just unhappy about her music. They all stood behind the door, None of them got through to her nor tried to understand her. They never tried to open that door to understand what was behind it. They insulted her, they didn't like what she was doing, and tried to persuade her, but all behind a door. The road leading up to where she was now was not a road with rose petals. Instead, a broken path made from the same old thorny vine that everyone sees her as. But she was smart enough to handle them while growing up. As we saw how she handled the three neighbors, she adjusted herself to resist the oppression. The kid I met next also at first was behind the door. He also feared Xinyan because that is how these people are programmed to be. Excluding a few individuals who break the flow, most of us are trained to be normal in society. But to my surprise, the kid actually came to reality. At the moment, I didn't understand this because the kid kept crying like a baby. But when I thought back to why that kid popped out from within the door, it was fairly simple. Xinyan managed to guide him to open the door. He managed to accept Xinyan for who she was and understand her. She took his perspective and compared it to her life, which allowed him to open the door and take a look inside. The mirage showing her the story of the three kids was to reignite her memory of a similar occasion she had. And that memory was there so she would remember her wish to perform with something out of normality, something different. At this point in the whole event, I started to believe that these quests are not meant as character development for these individual characters. This game is not about the characters we fell in love with. It's about us, the traveler. These characters have already matured that they will always be what you always loved about them. We are the ones who are getting character development, going through and getting to appreciate how they became what they are. Xinyan never needed character development. She learned to accept who she was and enjoy life as it is long before we met her. She just had to complete her forgotten wish. Would not fulfilling one of her wishes make her unlikable? Definitely not. Xinyan was always whole. It was something extra she got to experience in her life.
To you who lived here in the past, I hope you liked this song.
In the end, she was always Xinyan, I knew. But it was I who learned about her. It was I who opened the door finally. And this is a piece of my madness. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. To be honest, out of all 4 domains, I had the hardest time figuring out Xinyan's story. If you think you have understood Xinyan, hit the like button. If you are new here, hitting that subscribe button would be much appreciated. If you missed Kazuha's video, check it out here, and if you have, check this cool video out. This was Ekamin. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, let your imaginations run wild.